it is likely that perhaps not all of us are aware of the being problems that our society is dealing with nowadays. And throughout history, there have been events that strongly affected a large part of our population. It's very important to remember and learn from the past so the future generations will lead to a better society. That is why this time my person, Marcelo Bello, and my colleagues, Janela Dapello and Jose Bazán, we will talk about three important films that have had a great impact on society. Next, The Boy of Stripped Pajamas. This movie is set in the 40s during the expulsion and imprisonment of the Jews, where Bruno, a kid whose father was a soldier of the Nazi regime, he is taken with his family to an area outside the city near the concentration camps, which leads the child to have a bad time because there are no children to play with him. Then he meets Samuel, an imprisoned Jewish boy. Despite their difference, they manage to have a great friendship. With his reflects the torture that the Jews suffered during that time and how the society lived during the Second World War.
Well, thanks, Marcelo. To begin, the Oscar-winning actress Helen Mirren takes us into the life of Anne Frank through the page of her diary, an extraordinary text that has brought the tragedy of Nazism to the attention of millions of readers around the world. This moving documentary tells the story of Anne Frank through her diary, along with that or other five Holocaust survivors. Life for the Frank family was normal until May 1940, when the good time for the family came to the end. First with the World War II, then with the capitulation and the German invasions. Their stories show that every event of war leaves only sadness, which is why we must always strive for the peace, hope, and freedom. Understand that despite the difficult situations, we must always be ourselves, stand up for what we believe in, and we brave to achieve our goals.
Well, eating disorder affects 17 million people worldwide and have the highest death rate from any mental illness. Fortunately, a film called To the Bone was created in order to expose the reality of these diseases and the serious consequences that they can have. This film narrates the life of several teenagers with ED and how it wears their life and their relationship. On the whole, the purpose of this film is to make the disease more widely known and to help to identify it in their children. The film makes society aware that this is not a disease that can go unnoticed. To summarize, the movie talks about eating disorders, and unfortunately, this is one of the most common diseases among young people. It's time to break stereotypes and be more vigilant about mental health. The future of our other generations is our responsibility. Next. About this presentation, we can conclude that the films have a big impact on society. As we can see in the film The Boy in the Street Pyjamas, where they show us the torture that the Jews suffered during the Second World War, or in the movie Discovering Anne Frank, which show us that we have to understand that despite the difficult situations, we must always be ourselves and stand up. And lastly, in the movie To the Bone, which show us the reality of eating disorders. All this help us to be aware of our actions. Thank you.